Title: Update: Organizing a funeral on my own because my mother wants an apology. Hi everyone. My original post is here. So much crazy has happened in the last 2 weeks, I thought it would be better to do an update post. My sister gave me some great advice, which I took. The week after C died, I just focused on her and her life. I tried not to think about my mother and let her take the focus off of C. For those who are interested about exactly how crazy my mother is, here is the post my sister wrote 2 weeks ago about my mother trying to get her arrested the week after C died. So, here we go. The funeral was this past weekend. There were 25 people there, none were my mother. She found out on FB that the funeral happened and lost her shit. Made embarrassing comments on FB she didn't think I would see. She told several people before the funeral that even if she was invited she would never go. Typical. The funeral was absolutely perfect. C would have loved. She was really loved and had such a great sense of humor. We all had some shots and snacks and super funny stories. If you guys are interested, I will put my best story about C at the bottom of this post. My mother has said some really terrible things about my sister and I over the last 2 weeks. It all comes back to us. She has threatened to divorce my dad, make sure my sister and I never see our older sister again. She is Downs and lives with my mom. My mom has turned her against us and keeps telling her that we don't love her, etc. She has threatened to kill herself in order to punish us. She cannot keep track of her lies, and even her best friend has seen her true colors now. My dad has tried really hard to make her happy and keep the peace. He is an abused spouse but refuses to accept it. She just continues to abuse him. She still has not messaged or called my son to say sorry he lost his granny. She claims he has not spoken to her in months, so she has written him off. He is 17, so it is not like he hasn't noticed. She has told everyone that he refuses to speak to her, so she will not speak to him. Out of everything, this has made me the second maddest. When driving back from my sister, 6-hour car drive, he was the only one speaking to her. He even asked her about Trump and if she had ever been to Trump Towers, her favorite topic of all time right now. They chatted for a long time and I had such a knot in my stomach because my son likes to wind people up and I thought he was trying to irritate her, but he wasn't. He was genuinely trying to make conversation with her. And now the kicker, the thing that has made me the maddest, that pisses me off the most. C stated in her will that she wants her ashes spread where her son died, my son's father. He died on the highway on a motorbike. It is about 5 hours drive from us. We have a public holiday coming up near the end of the month, so we decided to make a weekend of it. 2 days in the town to do the ceremony. My son's dad was not super involved in his life, he paid maintenance but always lived too far to have a proper relationship with him. I have arranged for all his friends to meet my son. I am hoping they can tell my son more about his dad, etc. Then we are going up more north to my dad's best friend for another 2 days. They live in bush, think African game reserve, so it is a perfect way to end a very emotional weekend. This entire weekend is for my son. I have booked accommodation, planned everything, etc. My dad wanted to come with and of course I said yes. So, yesterday I was at my mom's best friend, she is a beautician, and I was getting a pedicure as it is coming onto summer here, and my mom phoned as I was leaving. She told her bestie that she is furious she is not going away for the weekend with us. Bestie asked if she had messaged my son yet to give her condolences. Granny of the fucking year says, no, he still hasn't spoken to me, so I am not speaking to him, FFS. Bestie says, well, you can't expect an invitation if you are not speaking to anyone. My crazy ass mother says that she knows she is not welcome but wants to come anyway to piss me and my son off. She wants to gatecrash my son's farewell to his granny because she knows it will upset him. Are you fucking kidding me? Who does that? As I am sure you can tell, this still makes me mad. Even typing this I am getting furious all over again. Bestie was encouraging her to message me, talk to me, anything so that she can go with us. I told Best straight, she is not welcome. It is my job to protect my child and I will do it by any means necessary. The last thing he needs is his bitch granny deliberately sabotaging his weekend for her own personal pleasure. I am so beyond furious. Luckily my dad decided to get a spine last night. I did not tell him about this conversation as 1, I was way too angry to be rational, and 2, he has enough going on right now and I made a commitment to stop bitching about my mother to him. So last night my mother, who thinks the memorial is this weekend, asks my dad what time we are all leaving on Saturday. My dad just straight up says, "You are not going." She went ballistic, saying that he must find somewhere else to live, she is divorcing, she is taking all his money. If you read my sister's post you will see there is no money, my mother's sister has financially ruined my dad's business, we must all die, etc, etc, etc. I know this because her bestie called me last night to find out if I had told my dad what my mother said. My mom had phoned her and blamed her for telling my dad. The reality is my mother is mentally ill, but she is also super smart. Last year I got her into a facility to help her. I warned them that she will manipulate them. They didn't believe me and she was out after 2 weeks. She was supposed to stay for 2 months. She did a terrible thing to me then, which is why I refuse to help her anymore. In a nutshell, she convinced all these smart people that the issue was actually me and my rape when I was 15. Not sure how she did it, but I became the issue and she was given a clean mental bill of health. Oh, and on that topic, after my son was born I realized I needed to face up to my past and deal with the rape, the way my mother has treated me my whole life, my childhood, drug abuse, etc. I found a great therapist who I went to for 3 years. In that time I told her everything. I dealt with rape, my drug abuse, my aggression. I was going twice a week for the first year. I worked hard on making myself the best mom for my son. What did my mother do? She managed to get my therapist's number, made friends with her, and now they meet every now and again for coffee or lunch. My therapist called me at the time and told me my mom called me and wanted to start seeing her. I said hell no. My mom will manipulate her, etc. The therapist begged me to reconsider and said that she already has all the dirt on my mother, so it will be easy to treat her. I eventually gave in. A while later I went to see my therapist about dumping an abusive BF. At the end of the session I said something along the lines of, "My mother is being her crazy self again," and this bitch said to me, "There is nothing wrong with your mother, she is great, she has become one of my close friends." Boom. How many mothers go out of their way to make friends with their daughter's therapist? Needless to say I have never gone back to her again. I am so sorry guys, this got extremely long. There is definitely something therapeutic about putting this down in black and white. So on a light note, the best story in the world about C. About 3 years ago she called me and asked me what my now ex-fiancé and I wanted for Christmas. I said, anything geeky. She said perfect. I was expecting her to ask what is geeky, but she didn't, so I assumed she knew what I meant. So Christmas Day arrives and I open my gift. Edible underwear. X gets a soap that measures your penis. Imagine a flat piece of soap with 3 different holes in stating, small, medium, OMG. I am so embarrassed and so confused but thanked her anyway. A bit later she asks if I liked the presents because I wasn't as excited as she thought I would be. I said, yes thank you, they are great. Did she buy them herself? She said yes, but she had to look around for something kinky but eventually just went into a sex shop. I collapsed laughing. No geeky, no kinky. She was like, I don't even know this word geeky. I just had an image of her going into a sex shop and buying edible underwear and a penis measuring soap at the ad of 77. Damn, I miss her. Edit for the therapist. I started going to her when my son was 3, he is now 17, so this was 14 years ago. I was with her for 3 years. I had very bad anger issues. I am so embarrassed when I look back now and remember how I behaved in my 20s. I was 27 when I had my son. So in the last year with her I was only going once or twice a month. She called me after I had stopped seeing her for about 4 months or so saying my mom had contacted her blah blah blah. To be honest, I really thought she would help my mom, knowing what she had done to me. I really thought, finally someone will see what we see. It was only about 6 months or so later that I went to her again to get advice about loser BF, and that was when she slipped up that my mom is great. About 2 months after that she gave up her practice to help companies become B compliant, more profitable in my country.